All right, so again, we're talking about these cells. Our three main parts, right? Cytoplasm, cellular membrane, and nucleus, right? And inside that cytoplasm are these different organelles, right? Now, if you look on the study guide, that is one of the big pieces, one of the large components of what we're having you look at in this unit are these organelles, right? Endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, etc., right? So we'll talk more about these as we're rolling. But let's talk about that cell membrane. Here's your composite cell again. And remember that not all of these parts are on every cell. All of them have a nucleus, right? Most of them have ribosomes. Most of them have mitochondria, right? But the other pieces vary. So, what's the point of the cell membrane? To keep everything, which direction are you thinking? In, keep everything in. Cool, right? This is the cell, right? Yeah, that's fine. Keep everything in, right? But it also serves another purpose. Sir? Keep other things out, right? Or even in more specifics, to let certain things in and keep other things out. They're like the bouncer, right? That, hey, no, you can come in. Oh, no, not you. No, stay out, right? What are they made out of? Close, not photo. Phospholipids, right? Remember from last unit, right? With the head and the tail, right? And it's two layers of this. The two heads are pointed outward, the tails go inward, and that basically allows it to be selectively permeable. To let certain things in, keep other things out, right? There are also lots of things on its surface. Question? Oh, no. Sorry. You're just praising the Lord. You've got these little things that are embedded in that phospholipid. So can you see that there are these two layers with the heads on top and tails toward the middle? Heads on the bottom, tails. So it's this bilayer, a phospholipid bilayer. You hear them say those words. It just means two layers of phospholipids together. And inside that you have these protein molecules. You have little cholesterol molecules. Those give more support. The proteins maybe have a little something on the outside that allows something to bind to that cell. Either maybe it wants to bring it in, or maybe binding something onto it changes how that cell works. Again, there's literally hundreds of thousands of these different types of things. They're kind of interspersed throughout that cell structure, that cell membrane structure, right? Keeping on rolling. This is all we've... those molecules that are on the outside are almost like little gates to say, oh, okay, we need lots of Andrews inside this cell. Let's make a special gate where only the Andrews can come in, right? And we want Andrews, come, yes, come into our party, Andrews. It's like an Andrews party, right? And we bring them inside, and so maybe there's a specific gate. So sodium gates, right? Or potassium. These places where you're bringing these things inside the cell purposefully. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. We keep on rolling here. These proteins on the outside also help with signal transduction. That just means sending signals. So like on nerve cells, they have specific ways that they'll transfer the signal, and these proteins on the outside help with that. Okay? Cellular membrane. We cool? Let's keep going here. Cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is really three different things, right? There's this actual clear liquid fluid that's like basically just water. There's some of the things in it. And we call that the cytosol. And then you have some of these cytoskeleton, which is like the steel support beams in a building, like they give it structure that help hold it up. And then the main thing everybody thinks about when you think about the cytoplasm is what? I'm sorry? I just heard some mumbling. Okay, yeah, but no, that's a specific one of the organelles, right? All the organelles are in the cytoplasm. And for most folk, that's what they think of when they think of cytoplasm, is all these different organelles, because that's when you start the whole list of these different organelles. So endoplasmic reticulum, right? These flattened sacs that are basically like the highway system in the cell. And you've got rough ER and smooth ER. The rough ER's got what on the outside? What's that? Ribosomes. And what do ribosomes do? Make proteins. Protein synthesis, which is just fancy words for making protein. You said? Sure, the RNAs come to those ribosomes, you're exactly right, to make the proteins. That's that whole process of transcription. Excellent. If you don't have ribosomes, then you have a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and that helps with lipid synthesis. What is lipid synthesis? Making fats, right, exactly. Taking different stuff we eat and breaking them into fats that we can use. Does that make sense? Or maybe fats we use to store energy with. Because remember, we use lots of fats for a lot of different things. Lipids, that is. Okay? Again, those ribosomes are for protein synthesis. And remember, we'll talk much more about that process, but that's where they're taking the DNA and we're reading it, translation, right? And figuring out, oh, okay, here's how I make this particular protein, and then send it out to the ribosome to actually create it. So we use the chef cookbook and kitchen metaphor, right? There are your endoplasmic reticulums, rough on the top and smooth on the bottom, or maybe left and right. Little dots, the ribosomes. Next, we've got Golgi apparatus, the GA, that refines and packages and modifies those proteins and ships them out. This is like basically the UPS store and fleet in your cells, right? That they're delivering, these proteins are made by the ribosomes, great, but they got to be used, right? So you send them out where they need to be. And those are little vesicles that do those delivering. Vesicle is just basically a sack full of something. It's like a little pod that gets taken and dropped off. Like your Amazon box, you know, with those lovely smiles on them. You're so happy to see them at your doorstep when they come, right? Oh, there's my vesicle of Amazon goods that you plop down there. All right? And again, here's a view of that Golgi apparatus there. It's not actually purple, but you know that's just why they colored it on your cell there. The mitochondria. What are mitochondria? That's always, everybody always knows those 3 or 4 words. Powerhouse of the cell. It's good. And that worked well for you in biology. Right? But now we're going deeper. When we say it's the powerhouse of the cell, what do we mean? Give me some hands. What is it actually doing, sir? Okay. It's providing it. I would say it's actually transforming energy to make those ATPs. Yeah, take ADP and make them into ATPs. So it's providing that energy. Does that make sense? We're going to go into the whole detail of that process. But the mitochondria is where ADP, which is basically like rechargeable batteries that are now dead. Think about your phone, right? You use this all day, it's dead, right? Those dead phones come to the mitochondria. The mitochondria is like the plug that you plug in and leave it overnight, and the next morning it's back to charged. The mitochondria are taking those dead phones, those ADPs, and turning them into ATPs that now we can use for, you know, whatever we do with it. Does that make sense? So the mitochondria is actually that little stand on your bed, next to your bed where you plug in your phone. That's what a mitochondria is, the place where that energy gets added back to it. Very active cells contain thousands of mitochondria. What kind of cells would you just gather and think about would have the most ATPs? Like a high number of ATPs. Or am I mitochondria, not ATPs? Sorry? Muscles is a great one, yeah. What other kind of cells need lots of energy? Your brain, I hope. I hope. Yeah. Lots of stuff. The heart is a muscle, but that is a great example. The heart is always beating, so it needs a large supply of these mitochondria present. Does that make sense? Cool. There's a beautiful picture. It kind of looks like a little bean, doesn't it? That's what I always thought. Little mitochondria beans. Lysosomes are the garbage disposals. To lyse something means to cut, to break in Latin. So whenever you see lyso, we'll come across this a number of times in this class, it means to cut up, to break, to get rid of. Lysol, right, to kill the germs, right, that's the same root. Yeah. And these are enzymes that help break up and digest waste products and old cells and bacteria. And again, get rid of them. They're the garbage disposal of the cells. Peroxisomes, these guys help break up molecules that won't dissolve in water, so that mess up your body. Things like alcohol won't dissolve in water. So these guys will help break that up. They'll add these little peroxy groups onto it chemically and change the structure to allow it to be dissolved so your body can get rid of it and not affect you. It also does that with lipids as well, since of course lipids don't dissolve in water either. Microfilaments and microtubules, again, this goes back to not really organelles. I think they're listed on that sheet for organelles, but they're the structure, kind of holding the cell together, right? And they can use them to make these different tubules, etc. The centrosome, remember in meiosis and mitosis, when those genes come to the middle, right? They're there, and we want to split them and send them apart. Well, that's what those centrosome is, that structure that's made up of those little filaments, those little centrioles that help with that process. And again, we'll be reviewing that if that doesn't ring a bell for you. Cilia and flagella are all about movement, right? Well, if I go back to the picture, where are you? There we are. So cilia here, flagellum here. What do you notice differences? Okay, there's only one flagellum. There's lots of cilia. What else? Was okay, yeah, back in front, sure, this composite cell. You see this is longer, right, than these guys. Do you remember, what's a cell that when you think of flagellum, there's one cell that everybody thinks of that has a flagellum? One cell in our body, well, at least in half of our bodies. Sperms, right? Sperm is just basically a cell that's got this big long tail on it. What's the point of that flagellum? What is it doing? Okay. But how is it swimming? It does like the breaststroke or backstroke or like what? No, it twists, right? Literally, that is the motor. That's the propeller for the cell. So as that flagellum moves, it propels, it moves the cell along. Cilia, not ciliae, cilia. Cilia. Cilia is also dealing with movement, but it's moving fluids. So basically, you put all of these cilia, they line an opening to your body. So we'll try this, okay? We'll see if we can do this. You guys paying attention over here? See if we can do this. Do just a little wave with your arms like this. And the wave, 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 the wave. Good, it gets over here, it goes back. The wave, the wave, the wave, the wave. Oh, okay, second row, get involved. Okay, ready, go this way, go. Wave, 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 wave. Are you comfortable? Oh, nicely done. Again, whoa, don't fall. Don't hurt yourself. One more time, going this way. Ready, go. Wave, 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 wave. Excellent. Good. So, if you were cilia, let's say in your throat, lining your trachea, you are moving mucus up to the top. Right? And eventually, and you spit it out. I won't do it, don't worry. That's the job of cilia, is to move these fluids. Are you with me? The difference? Flagellum are actually moving the cell itself. So it actually will propel the cell to move, but the cilia is moving the fluids, moving something else. Does that make sense? Let's zip back down here. Oh, there we go. Good. And again, we already talked about vesicles. Vesicles being those parts of the cell membrane or the Golgi apparatus, they store. They're just like little sacs. They're storing little parts. Excellent. That was as far as I wanted to go with you. Well, we'll talk about the nucleus. We'll go quick through the nucleus here. The nucleus is basically like its own little cell. Like it has another double layered membrane that surrounds it, right? And then inside of it, like what's the main point of this nucleus? The nucleolus, sure. Okay. It's got a DNA, right? Yeah, which has all the instructions to make, which carries out all, absolutely. It's the control center, right? And so again, it's not actually blue, but that's the way it is on the picture. That's in your textbook there, right? And again, these pieces, the point there is that this is where we store that DNA. If we need to get instructions to make proteins, we have to go in and copy down a bit of that DNA and take it outside the nucleus in order for it to, to actually do what it has to do. It's kind of like the VIP room of the club, right? That's got the extra double walls and oh, no. Some things you'll let in. Maybe those Andrews, maybe they can come in the actual cell, but not the VIP area. Come on, no. No, that's... well, no, we better stop. Better stop there. All right, good. Okay, here's what I would love for you to do. We've got a few more minutes here. Let me stop this recording here real fast.